Two teams with great expectations for 1980, but one is on the way up, the other down. Beginning to realize the fruits of his master offensive plan, 49er coach Bill Walsh finds his team undefeated. The word is out. San Francisco is competitive. However, getting the word out is not so easy for laryngitis-stricken Steve DeBerg, who must employ a battery-operated speaker to let his voice be heard. Those on the receiving end include two all-purpose backs, one the veteran Paul Hofer, the other a rapidly developing fullback, Earl Cooper, a rookie with 20 pass receptions in his first two games. Second-year wide receiver Dwight Clark provides the long threat to keep the Jets secondary honest. Rave notices ushered the Jets and quarterback Richard Todd into the new season. But the Jet running game has vanished, and attention is turned to several merchants of speed. Wesley Walker has returned to team with rookie Johnny Lamb Jones to form the fastest tandem of receivers in the league. Complemented by tight end Mickey Schuler, the Jets expect their passing game to come to life, along with their first win of the year, as they meet the San Francisco 49ers in the NFL Game of the Week. Two weeks into the season, San Francisco finds itself in an unusual position as winners for the first time in years. And first-play jitters are frequently the result. Turning an apparent negative into a positive, the 49ers ended up at the 42-yard line. On the opening play from scrimmage, quarterback Steve DeBerg carried out expected strategy with a short outlet pass to Paul Hofer, number 36. Hofer expected to sidestep jet tackle Marty Lyons. What he didn't expect was Lyons' method of stopping him. The ensuing penalty put the 49ers in Jet territory early, and DeBerg chose to explore the other side of the field, away from Marty Lyons. Again, he located Paul Hofer. Tight end Charlie Young then took DeBerg's third pass to the end zone for the game's initial score. Charlie Young appears to have found a home in the Bill Walsh system, and his touchdown put the 49ers on the board first, 7-0. A year ago, the Jets had the most potent running game in the league. Yet the high point of the running attack occurred when Clark Gaines, number 21, gained 20 yards on his first two carries. Inexplicably, the Jets virtually abandoned the run from that point on. Expected to go long often, 49er linebackers and cornerbacks paid particular attention to Lamb Jones, number 80. It paid off as number 46 Melvin Morgan and number 22 Dwight Hicks aborted Todd's early efforts to go deep. Steve DeBerg's voice amplifier was heard loud and clear above the noise. While Jets took off from nearby LaGuardia Airport, the 49ers took off from their own 43-yard line. Charles Young responded with his second reception of the afternoon, initiating San Francisco's second sustained drive. With excellent protection from a maturing offensive line, DeBerg continued to utilize the short game, spreading his passes among 5 different receivers, among them Dwight Clark. Paul Hofer, quickly becoming the game's busiest back, ran and caught his way to over 100 first-half yards. As Hofer went down at the 8-yard line, DeBerg went out at midfield, not with an injury, but with a malfunction in his voice amplifier. Enter backup quarterback Joe Montana, number 16. Instructed to score, Montana obliged. His offensive line went one way, he went the other. 76 yards in 15 plays, 14-0 San Francisco. 14 points down, the Jets ran 5 consecutive pass plays. Clark Gaines' 8 first-half receptions may have been extended if not for several miscues. The 49er deep back stayed deep to cover Walker and Lamb Jones, and wide receiver Bobby Jones when it most mattered. Cornerback Melvin Morgan, number 46, assured the Jets a scoreless first period. What was missing from the Jets' long passing game? Discussions were held throughout Shea Stadium. So far, no answers. There are 8 rookies on the 49er roster. Premier among them, number 49, Earl Cooper. In just his second year with San Francisco, number 16 quarterback Joe Montana has been given minimum playing time thus far, but makes the most of his rare opportunities. Completing 4 out of 6 passes, Montana teamed with Paul Hofer over the middle to the Jet 23. While DeBerg was outfitted in the latest electronic equipment, Joe Montana had this drive all to himself. The Jets did not blitz all afternoon, dropping their linebackers into a holding pattern behind the line of scrimmage. With little pressure on Montana, he looked toward the end zone at number 87, Dwight Clark. Clark's touchdown earned San Francisco a 3-touchdown lead and had the 49ers heads in the air. Clark simply brought the situation into perspective and down to earth. Down by 3 touchdowns, the Jets hung on with Richard Todd. Todd's powerful arm, primed to locate receivers long, found instead running back short over the middle. Clark Gaines rolled up 64 yards receiving in the first half, and as a New Yorker, hardly expected to be mugged by an out-of-towner. The purse snatching resulted in a Jet recovery, but on the following play, the Jets lost the ball to the 49ers at their 41. Steve DeBerg, fully repaired electronically, continued to mix runs with passes. Earl Cooper, the rookie from Lexington, Texas, proved his value immediately. A 6'2", 227-pound fullback, Cooper led the Southwest Conference in receptions last year and added 536 yards on the ground. His size and fluid style are a natural match for the Bill Walsh system. The Walsh system also includes the unexpected. The flea flicker to Paul Hofer put the ball at the New York 13, but at this point, the suddenly aggressive Jet defense held, allowing Ray Wersching the opportunity to air out his toe. The week before, Wersching's field goal beat the Cardinals in overtime. This one provided what would become some important insurance. "24 points down, the Jets were forced to play catch-up in a hurry, but running the ball did not do the trick. Returning briefly to the run resulted in returning immediately to the pass. Clark Gaines, running virtually the same pass patterns throughout the game, paused in the backfield as a blocking back, then slid over the middle. While the 49ers secondary was strung out, Gaines entered the vacated zone alone. While Gaines' receptions did not result in big gainers, Wesley Walker's first catch of the year did, and got the Jets a last-minute chance to score. It wasn't a blitz, just a heavy four-man rush that squelched the Jets' shot at a touchdown, and New York settled for a field goal. During the first half, the only Jets to take off near Shea Stadium were the ones at LaGuardia. This Jet set was temporarily grounded. The last two NFL seasons have produced a number of ups and downs for the New York Jets. 1980 was thought to be the end of the roller coaster ride, and it may well be. Unfortunately for New York, the Downs have forged a strong lead. With the help of rookie Earl Cooper's latest all-purpose act, the 49ers sprinted to a 24-3 halftime lead, placing the comeback burden heavily on Richard Todd's shoulders. Todd's 1980 track record has been less than spectacular, but the fourth-year pro from Alabama now had a chance to atone for past sins. A poor first-half performance had Todd and the Jets with their backs to the wall. The 49ers defense, one of the NFC's worst a year ago and not much better this season, shut down the potentially explosive Jet offense. Todd's only success came through the air, but the tosses were short drop-offs to his backs, not downfield strikes to his fleet wide receivers. The pattern continued in the second half. Todd willingly settled for the short yardage pass to backs like Clark Gaines and Kevin Long, number 33, only sparingly throwing in a quick out to an outside threat like Bobby Jones, number 89. Todd's plans seemed clear to San Francisco. He was passing on almost every play. To compensate, the 49ers attacked the Jet quarterback with linebackers and safeties, dropping him for a 7-yard loss. New York would have to make use of its split receivers to put a badly needed 6 on the board. Again, Todd's target would be Bobby Jones. The officials ruled that the ball touched the ground before Jones came up with it, making it an incomplete pass. The Jets were forced to end their 11-play drive with a field goal, doing little damage to San Francisco's overwhelming position. The 49ers picked up where they left off in the first half. Utilizing perhaps the NFL's finest all-purpose backfield in number 49 Earl Cooper and Paul Hofer, number 36, San Francisco attacked the Jets' defense on the outside, exposing a weakness that has plagued New York since last year: poor secondary play. The Jets' Achilles heel became even more visible 3 plays later when Joe Montana found Dwight Clark alone at the goal line for the duo's second touchdown of the game. Another look at the play shows that confusion abounded in the Jets secondary. A missed assignment left Clark cutting to the corner totally free of defensive pressure. The 49ers' third passing touchdown returned their lead to its largest margin of the afternoon, 24 points. In 1979, playing linebacker for the 49ers was a difficult task. Just ask Willie Harper. A porous secondary forced San Francisco's linebackers to be overly conscious of the pass. Richard Todd sought to exploit this potential problem. With 49er linebackers dropping deep to compensate, Todd went underneath the coverage, throwing primarily to his running backs. Todd made such extensive use of his backfield in the passing game that number 21 Clark Gaines broke the NFL record for most receptions by a back in a game with 17, and he came within one of the overall record. Gaines and Bruce Harper, number 42, continually found the short middle open against the 49ers. 24 points down, it was time now for Todd to let loose his swift squadron of wide receivers. Let loose he did. Olympic sprinter Johnny Lamb Jones easily beat his man down the left sideline, but Todd could not deliver what would have been a sure touchdown. As he had done all day, Todd simply reloaded his trigger. This time, he connected. Derek Gaffney, number 81, raced freely across the middle, easily beating San Francisco's loose coverage. The next pass Gaffney would catch would be good for a Jet touchdown. A minute into the fourth quarter, the Jets had begun to make a move, but would it be too late to stop their third straight loss? New York's offensive line, one of the league's best. In 1979, they led the Jets to the NFL team rushing title. This year, their role has reversed. They have become basically a pass-blocking unit as New York has gone from a running team to a passing team. The only drawback to this fundamental offensive change has been the play of the Jets quarterback, Richard Todd. Todd has not yet emerged as a consistent pro. This game was ample proof. With New York gathering momentum for a comeback bid, Todd short-circuited this charge by throwing the game's only interception. Rookie Ricky Churchman was the culprit. A second look shows that tight end Mickey Schuler, number 82, had the linebacker beaten. But Todd did not anticipate strong safety Churchman's move to the area. The 49ers now had an opportunity to put the game away permanently. Bill Walsh's sophisticated offensive machinery would make the most of the situation. The 49ers' number 1 quarterback, Steve DeBerg, was back, but it was Earl Cooper, number 49, who ignited the offensive charge. DeBerg would then take over. Executing brilliantly a rare fake tight end reverse, DeBerg found Freddie Solomon in the end zone for 6 more 49er points. Solomon fought off pass interference against Jets corner Donald Dykes, and San Francisco now had an insurmountable 37-13 lead. Although the game was beyond his grasp, Todd would furiously attempt to bring some sense of respectability to a Jet team that was picked to challenge for the AFC East title in 1980. Seen as the cornerstone of an exciting and explosive Jet offense that would also feature sprinters Wesley Walker and Lamb Jones, Todd has not yet been able to take advantage of their talents. New York's late-game surge against the 49ers could well turn out to be an important step in the right direction for both Todd and the Jets. Although San Francisco's intensity level was probably not what it should have been, Todd's fourth quarter resurgence can only boost the quarterback's confidence. But if the Jets are to make a serious bid for a division title or even a wild card berth this season, their offense must become more wide open. As the Jets watch Todd pile up the most impressive statistics of his career, one sobering fact remained. Lamb Jones caught only 1 pass, and it came with just over 2 minutes remaining in the game. For the afternoon, Todd completed 42 passes, an NFL record, in 59 attempts for 447 yards and 3 touchdowns. But the statistics were misleading. Less than 1/4 of Todd's completions went to his outside receivers, with Wesley Walker and Lamb Jones catching only 1 ball each. This Jet touchdown to number 84, Paul Darby, brought the final score to 37-27, and it gave New York a measure of respectability. The Jets are at the crossroads. They do not want to become one of the major disappointments of 1980. For the San Francisco 49ers, their 1980 start has been one of the NFL's major surprises. Winning their opening 3 games for the first time since 1952, the 49ers have shown that they can put points on the board. Steve DeBerg has quickly become one of the league's best young quarterbacks. And in the age of the forward pass, his high-powered passing attack is the main reason why the 49ers could be legitimate contenders for a playoff berth in 1980.